Right, things are coming along nicely. Next thing we're going to tackle is this rather heavy rear wheel. It's not as bad a condition as the front one was, so yeah, the rim is really good. It's an original Dunlop, so I think we'll be fine with that. That will just need, I think, a general clean up. Obviously I won't be spraying that, painting that, because I would have to take it to bits to do all that, and that'll be new spokes, and really there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I'll just strip all the bearings out, check them over, replace them if they need to be, and have a good look at this sprocket, rear sprocket. That may be okay. I'll get a closer look at that once it's cleaned. And for now I'll probably just leave this tyre on here. It's a little bit hard, but just for the sake of building it, the bike up, that'll do for now. Yeah, so that's not going to be a very exciting video. So I thought what we'd do is have a little challenge. I have a little object, so I thought we'd have a little guess the object item feature in this video. So here we have that. I'll give a little closer look. Hopefully that's in shot. I can't see what I'm doing because I don't have a forward facing screen on here, but this little item here, it's glass. I think it's a kind of white, slightly opaque glass, and it's Victorian. I think it's about 1890, and there were a lot of these produced. Might be a clue. So does anyone know what that is? Put it in the comments and we'll see what sort of, even if you don't know what it is, have a guess, and we'll see how close people get with that. That might be a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, so on with the wheel. So I'll start stripping this down. Just give it a little bit of a very quick clean over with some gunk, which isn't particularly, well, it's okay. It's not as good as paraffin anyway. I find. Off there, little ladybird or something. Right, so I'll start with this side. So I'm just going to strip out everything, give it a good clean down, bit of inspection, see what the bearings are like. So see what the bearings are like. That doesn't actually feel like that is moving at all. So yeah, I probably will need new bearings. Yeah, so I have got a brake plate, and I have got some new shoes to go on there. So I'll be doing that as well. Right, but we'll leave that up there out of the way for now. So this is a right hand thread. So what I'll do is I'll get these up, get them in the paraffin tank, give them a good clean up. Open that up ready, just chuck them straight in there. I think, yeah, that's fairly really dried in grease. Same with that bearing, that is just solid dirty dry grease. Right, and this side, see here, marked LH. That's the left hand. Just need a bar to undo that. A bit of stainless. Look how tight this is going to be. Quite tight. Answer that one. What have I done with that? Big adjustable. When was I last using it? Take the glasses off, won't be able to see it then. Oh, I know. Put it in there. Big adjustable. I left that outside the other day when I was doing the gas bottle on the barbecue. Right, what are we doing here? Left hand thread. That's a speedo drive. And these slots in. Also retains this other bearing. So I'm wondering if this what am I thinking? Not a spindle. Kind of in a spacer. In a spacer in there. I need to get on the end of that, something, and knock that. We'll use it to knock the bearing out the other side. Right, a small piece of brass there. Use that as an intermediate. So that on there. I hope nothing go ping. Do I press record? Yes. Too tight. Result to this. That's the internal spacer with the bearing on the other end, so I'll knock that bearing off as well in a bit. And there's an inner, well, I suppose bearing retainer, I suppose you'd call it. So I need to knock this other one out. Just about see it. This is just about the right size to go in the middle of the bearing. Let's try that. Bit of tool abuse. The other bearing. Right, I can probably leave those, another one of those retainers in that side. It's just like one of those pressed steel grease cups. I suppose I could, that'd be easier to clean it actually, to take it out. So I might just knock that out as well, and we'll give everything a clean up. Right, that's those parts been in the paraffin, cleaned up, ready to go back in. I will just replace the bearings, I think, while I'm here. These probably would be okay, but yeah, they're so cheap. Might as well replace them. Just have to remember which one of these rings go in which side. So that's the cup side, which goes with the speedo side. This thicker one, they call a support ring, goes on the sprocket side. With that ring on. No, hang on, is that right? Yes, that is right. Is that? Let's have a look. Parts book. Yeah, that's the thicker one. Yeah, sprocket side, thicker one. The thin press steel cup goes on the speedo side. Yeah, so remember that when you come putting it back together. Yeah, so I've just got to do a little bit more cleaning up inside here. Try and get some of this rust out, then get some brake cleaner in there, tidy that up a bit. Sprocket I think will be okay. I think there's still a few hundred miles in that as yet, so we'll keep going with that. Yeah, so it's pretty much ready to go back together. I have got new brake shoes for that, which I will have to do. And okay, new bearings turned up, so we'll get those in. Before the bearing goes in, mustn't forget to put this in, and this is the sprocket side, so it's this thicker, what do they call it actually, support ring or something they call it. Yeah, support ring. So that needs to go in first, and with the sort of dished side, or not dished, but the recessed side upwards. Let's give that a little tappy tap, get that in. Again, I'm using these sealed bearings. These are 6204 2RS, same as the front wheel. I'll get that one in there, and bigger hammer. Check that's going in square. Right, that sounds like that's there. So now you put this ring in. This is right-handed, so it's normal thread. Do that. That's that in there. Flip it over. Right. So this can go in now. This is the spacer. I think that is the same either end. Looks like that. I'll just put a little bit of grease on that just to protect it from the elements. Drop that in there. A little bit of alloy. That's in. Next is this little cup, grease retaining cup, which don't really need, but we'll put it in because we're using rubber sealed bearings, so it doesn't really matter. Go. Second bearing. More. That sounds about right to me. And then we have the speedo drive, and this is a left-hand thread. Wait to find the end. Catch a thread somehow. Where are we? Come on. Let's see what I'll go in square. There we are. Took a while to get it started. Right, that is that. Okay, so I've got some new brake shoes for the rear brake drum, so we'll get those in now. And I've got a spacer for this and speedo drive, so we'll have a look. I think might have a little test fit. I know there are going to be a couple of shoes because the different diameter of the spindles. So this is the spindle for that, which is 5/8 I think, and the swing arm on here on the drive frame would have had a 3/4 inch. So we're going to have to do a little bit of mucking about, a little bit of bushing, spacing up to do. As long as it will go in widthwise, And the other thing is, which you won't know at the moment, is going to be sprocket alignment. Until the engine goes in, I won't really know whether the sprockets are going to line up or not. So that is going to be a future thing we'll have to sort out. Yeah, let's get the shoes in, the drum, get the drum on, and have a quick look and see how it's going to go. Right, let's get these old ones off. You can see the lining is down to the, that one especially, down to the rivet, so they are no good. Springs actually look like they are fairly new, which is a little bit surprising. Right, how do they compare to these? Right, these don't have these little end caps on. I wonder if they are they part of the shoe, or are they part of the, are they something I need to put on here? They have got a thick end and a thinner end. That'll be the same. Have they come off there or not? Have a look in the parts book. Well, they're not listed as a separate item, although it does feel like they will come off. Yeah, those ones have a, these original ones have a little recess in them for this, whereas the new ones don't. So I'm going to assume these just go on as they are. Yeah, strange. They are just flat. And which way do they just come off there? Can't remember. What was that? That end? Yeah, these have a lead in. I would assume the lead in goes this end. Yeah, they've got the same. They've got a lead in edge. Better check that. Yeah, so these shoes are, I just had a quick check on line. These are pretty much the same, apart from this little clip, which you can actually get separately. Did have a look, did actually find it in the parts book, but in the later T1, something like a T150 or T140, in the later brakes, had those fitted for some reason. Perhaps they used to wear or something, I don't know. So if you put these over the top, they are exactly the same dimensions, so I think we'll be okay with that. So the other thing is these thicker edge, that's a thin edge, thick edge goes to there. Same with that one, thicker edge to this end, and also the leading edge of that goes towards rotation. So this is sitting in this side of the bike, so it's going to be rotating that way. So therefore those are going to go that way round. So I've got leading edge there, leading edge there. Right, let's get these on then, which is always tricky. There. Okay. And yeah, I did really actually want to put a little bit of a smidge of grease on those before I do anything else. Okay. Oh, bugger. Like that. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, this is a later brake plate. It's got this boss on here. The earlier ones, from what I can work out, had no boss on that part. Yeah. Right, let's get that back in the wheel, and we'll have a look at getting it in the swing arm, although I've got no shocks on there at the moment, but I just want to see space wise between the swing arm, because obviously this is for an oiling frame bike which has a different swing arm on it. So, yeah. So issues with fitting conical hubs in a dry frame, and the swing arm in particular. So normally QD hub or just the normal hub that would be on here has a 3/4 inch spindle, and this is the conical spindle. You can see it's a little bit rattly. Won't do it all. So what I'm going to do is make up some sleeves. I've got this tube, although actually I'm going to use stainless, I just happen to have this lying around for demonstration purposes. So what I'll do is make some sleeves out of this stuff which will fit in there. So that's a good fit in that. It's 19mm tube, or 3/4 inch OD, and it's 1.5 mm wall thickness, so it will also fit very nicely on there. So all I need to do is make some spaces up long enough to go between obviously the hub, the wheel hub, and the outside of here, and a little bit of extra just to go in these adjusters. So these are the normal adjusters for this type of swing arm. The all-in frame ones actually have a closed loop, and they have sort of a wraparound adjuster. So I'll be using these with some tube through. But these are new ones, and it's a very tight fit. So I will probably have to press that in there, I reckon, or the stainless when I get it, which actually will make life a little bit easier because I can stay in there and just cut it to length for that there. So that will sort that little problem out. So it's a little bit tricky because I haven't got shocks in here yet. Wedge that up about there. So will this wheel, I haven't tried it yet, actually go in between sort of height, probably not even at the right height there, I don't think. Let's offer it up and see. Oh yes, I also need the other little, there's a spacer that goes in here, I also need that, so let me go and find that. I have one spacer which goes in there, one speedo drive, which is a little bit oily. Let's just give that a wipe. Fresh out the packet. Right, so that will sit over there. Get the things lined up. Like that. There's also a small distance piece which goes between that and the swing arm. At the moment this is all looking a little bit tight, so who knows if this is going to work or not. Certainly not me. Right, which way does that torsion go? That goes that way round. Well, actually, I'll get that straight. It's actually looking as though it might well go. Awkward bit's going to get this in, I think. Might need to take a little bit off this spacer, I think, the looks of it. Or will we? That is a very tight fit. Difficult to do when you're trying to hold the swing arm up. If I can measure that gap, I think what I'll do, I'll put the spindle through the wrong way round, just so we can hold that in position, and then to do is measure what sort of distance I've got here. This gap here, because I need to space that. At the moment is a little bit tight by the feels of it. Yeah, oh, sorry, I'm in shot. Yeah, see, that's got to go between. That's not far out. That's probably a mil, maybe. Right, I'll do a little fiddling around with that and see how we get on. That is fitted. That's tight. I can't really spin it because it's not one-handed anyway, because I need to lift it up to do it. But oh, there we go. So that will turn. I've just got a little temporary spacer in there, just something I actually had, which was the right size, although the diameter is not correct. That's the one that was in there, so that's about 7 mil thick, and it needs to be about 6. So I could either shave a bit off that, make a new one, but I won't for now, because until the engine is in and I've checked sprocket alignment, this may need to shift one way or the other, so I don't want to be messing around with spacers at the minute and they're going to be the wrong size. But yeah, I think that should work. I've got this boss here. I think we probably could take something off that if we need to shift that way a bit, but it is very close to the swing arm here. There's probably only about a millimetre of clearance there. So if there is any movement this way, that's going to be it's going to be quite difficult. And this is quite far forward at the moment, but further back there is a bit more movement to bring it this way. So yeah, like I say, until that is until the engine is in, I won't know. I think next thing I need to do is get some shocks in there so that doesn't look quite so odd. Should be up there somewhere. But, yeah, seems as though it might work, which is good. Yeah, so I just need to cut some little bits of tube. Should be able to pre-cut those before I do my alignment, sprocket alignment, because I don't think that will actually have any bearing on, you know. They're only going to be, well, thickness of that plus thickness of that, probably 10 mil or so, 10, 15 mil maybe. Yeah, it's only got to be little things, just to take up that up and down movement in there. Yeah, I think these adjusters should work fine. Yeah, so as long as I can get the sprocket alignment, there won't be any problems with that. If it doesn't work, I have got a spare QD wheel, but it is a BSA one, I think, so that may or may not work. Anyway, that, yeah, and also going to need torsion bar on here. I have had a measure. That is the sort of standard length, so yeah, that won't be a problem. You can just use the one that's meant for this swing arm. I think the later ones is it's just like a flat piece of flat, so you could even make one really. But yeah, that's nothing desperate at the minute. So rear wheel kind of sorted. Yeah, I think that will probably do it for this video. Not much else it can do.